And we are live.
Are we?
Yep.
That's how you say it? You don't say, hi, everybody. Welcome to the stream tonight.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our stream tonight. We're happy to have you here. We have a lot of fun things planned for tonight.
Do we?
You tell me.
I don't know. You didn't tell me what we were talking about tonight.
We're still building a giant forest.
Okay. Well, I'm over here making teeth, so...
Yeah?
Yeah. If you leave it up to me while I'm doing this, you're going to go to one of my defaults, which is photography or psychology, so...
Why don't we talk photography a little bit?
What about photography do you want to know?
I don't know. Why do you shoot with a Pentax?
Because it's more bang for the buck. And my lenses don't cost me my firstborn child.
I thought they cost you your secondborn.
No, my lenses are actually quite decently priced in the scheme of things. Okay, let's be honest here. Nikon has a lens that is like $100 million, and you can rent the fucker out, and it's like the size of a small room. I don't know what the fuck you'd be taking pictures of with that, but... No, it's like I said, it was a conversation I had with my professor, and I was asking him about the Hasselblad. And Pentax has been around they're celebrating 100 years right now. And in the camera age, Pentax was the fucking camera. And they've got some really cool features that other ones don't have, and they're a hell of a lot more user-friendly. And their ISO, which is how light sensitive it is fucking amazing. It still beats the shit out of Nikon and Canon. I'm hearing good things about Sony, though.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Nikon and Canon for the price range, you get more with a Pentax than you do with mine. That's why I shoot Pentax.
Nice.
I don't care about the name, I care about the specs. And besides, at this point in my career, it's fun when people tell me, oh, you're not a professional photographer, you shoot with a Pentax, and then they're afraid to show their Nikon pictures. Well, I don't subscribe to that shit. You know what's the best damn camera? Whichever one's in your hand. I have some amazing concert pictures I took with my cell phone. So, whatever is in your hand is the best camera. But that brings us back to the consumerism, because Pentax really dropped the ball on their advertising, whereas Canon and Nikon have really amped it up, haven't they?
Yes, they have.
Now, you know which cameras they sell the most of? The consumer model cameras, the $200-$300 brand, the $300 one. The $300 and $500 ones are the ones they sell the most of, because everybody wants to be a photographer and it has to be a Nikon.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but the specs suck. And you're going to fight with that damn thing, and it's going to discourage you before you even get started. Why is everything so noisy? Well, because that camera wasn't made to do this shit. And that's another thing, is that some cameras are not suited for certain things. Some cameras are pretty much basically really good portrait cameras, but not like live action cameras. Because you need different specs for different things that you shoot. The one I have now is a good all-around anything I want to fucking shoot, including astral photography.
Yeah.
But it's way out of a lot of people's price range. And I don't think anybody wants to spend that kind of money on a hobby.
I do.
Well, you know, camera equipment can get really expensive really fast.
seems like a computer stuff.
Yes, it can. Yes, it can. But I don't know. What else do you want to know?
Full frame or medium format?
Well, I've never technically shot with medium format, although I would love to. And Pentax has got some badass fucking medium formats. Ironically, in the arena I'm in, Pentax is a no-no, yet in the fashion world, it's one of the top cameras that they use as a medium format. Funny, huh?
It is.
The one of theirs that I want, the body alone only starts at $8,000. No big deal, right? But, you know, the cool thing about medium format cameras? Okay, what a lot of people don't know is that your regular DSLR, which is basically it's an interchangeable fucking digital camera, interchangeable lenses. That's what DSLR means. Okay, so I totally lost where I was going. Damn it, fucking teeth distracted me. What was I saying? Refresh my memory. Hey, you might get me senile quicker than you thought. Oh, okay, the cool thing about medium format cameras is that, okay, your regular DSLR is basically a 35mm camera. And the biggest that you want to go with an uncropped picture with those is about an 11 by 11. And even then, you're going to lose some quality. But a medium format camera is like twice the size of that. And then a large format camera, you can blow that bitch up to fucking, the billboard size and not lose any fucking quality at all. In the old days, the large format cameras, the negatives for them were like a foot by a foot. They were huge.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. It's kind of like the HDR. Well, I thought it was a filter. No. And it's not even doing what it's supposed to be doing when you use that filter, by the way. And it irritates people like me.
Does it really?
You know, I've tried it. I just don't like the look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because what it's doing basically is it's outlining. If you overdo it, you ever notice there's like a white halo around everything?
Mm-hmm.
And that's because what it's actually doing is it's adding light where there isn't light. And that's why you get the distortions you do and why you get the color distortions you do. You can do it tastefully and it looks really good, but I rarely ever see that. But nothing compares to true HDR.
Hey.
What?
When you have a second, take a look at the background.
Nice. Very cool. I'm still over here making teeth. My little pumpkin guy's gonna have some massive, gnarly teeth. Yes, we got our Not Another Crap kit, and both of the molds that I did came out all fucked up. So mine was missing like half of its head. So I decided to carve it out and make a little pumpkin dude, little jack-o'-lantern dude. And well, it's me, so he's gonna be an evil little bastard. Right?
Right.
And there we go. Fucking tiny ass teeth, look at this. How many do you think I need? Fuck. You think that's enough or you think I need more? Should we make him really mouthy like me? Oh, I'm gonna have fun with this. And I think I'm gonna get one of those little lights that you put in a balloon to drop in it because he's hollow in some places so the lights will shine through and it'll look really creepy. Okay, I got a question for you. What color should I do the eyes? Should I do them clear so that the light shines through, or should I do them like red so he looks like glowing evil eyes?
Red.
Because you know my red is see-through.
Mm-hmm.
So,
You should do them red.
should I put a iris or a pupil? Or should I just leave it a blank red so he looks totally demonic? Or we could give him dragon eyes.
That's up to you. You just have me over here giggling a little bit.
Why? Because I haven't been this excited about working with clay in a while?
Exactly.
Yeah. Sometimes. That's because I was working with the resin. I just wait till I start making my jellyfish. Now that I have the colors that I need, I can take my translucent and make jellyfish and put my jellyfish in the ocean. I can make coral and all sorts of fun stuff. So yeah, I'm totally boring and useless tonight.
Oh, so am I.
Nah, I was having a rough day yesterday and I'm just kinda over it all right now. Is that okay? Can I be over it all right now?
Yeah, you can.
I was like, dude, respect the bubble, god damn it. Right?
Right. Well.
Okay, do you think I'm gonna need more teeth than that? Because I gotta fire these before I finish the mouth. Because it's easier to put them in after once they're hard rather than while they're still soft. And what should I do for his clothes? I was thinking about doing like a scarecrow outfit on him, but I don't know how I'm gonna do the texture of the cloth. Suggestions? I mean, I could do it, but I could do it with just the needle tool, but that would be like excruciating long time to do that.
I don't know.
Help! Help!
I don't know.
Well, I was gonna make him
You
like.
should definitely make him a mouthy little fucker like you.
Okay, then I probably need more teeth. But
Make him what you wish your teeth used to be.
no, that's not anywhere near. That's not anywhere near. I used to have vampire teeth, my fucking eye teeth. They were so long they broke. I'd bite my lip all the time and it'd always make me bleed. You're not helping me at all here.
No, I'm not.
And I was thinking, should I make, because I had to use a thin layer to put around his head of the clay. So should I put the, the natural bumps that are in the pumpkins? Should I add those or should I just use the indentation, which isn't going to be very pronounced? How pumpkin-y should I make it?
I'm not very pronounced.
Really? Because all of them go all out with that. We're going to do like, even put that little crust stuff that you find on it, because you can do that too. It's pretty easy.
You should go all out.
I don't know. I'm just like, I'm looking at it and it's already creepy as fuck.
You like my water plane just chilling there?
Yeah. Damn thing's just staring at me. Well, so what should I do for the clothes? Because I was thinking if I did just clothes on it, I wouldn't have to actually coat the body in clay to do what I wanted. But I was gonna give him little lace-up boots and stuff too. Because you can set it up and put some like hemp in it or something.
Right.
And then I have that cord that would look really cool, but I wish I had a little tiny rope because this rope's too big for around his waist.
Yeah.
And I gotta make a couple little pumpkins to go with him. And I haven't decided if he's gonna have like a pumpkin flail with like spikes coming out of it. In the hand that's holding something up. And then a vine with a pumpkin on the end of it. Then you could give them really fucked up faces. It would be kind of fun.
That would be really cool.
Or I could just wimp out and paint the shit on him. She got nothing to say. Okay. When you want help on yours, I'm not giving you any input because I'm an asshole too.
You would actually do that, huh?
No, I'm already trying to figure out how I'm going to do the clothes.
Well, the question is, do you feel like modeling out clothes, or do you feel like...
Well, it's really easy and I sew anyway, so it's even easier because I know how to cut the patterns. The problem is the texturing. And what am I going to dress him in? Because typically a scarecrow wears a flannel shirt or a burlap sack shirt and a pair of jeans. And I was even going to go all out and make some straw, which was my next step here because I got the teeth and I figured I could do the teeth and the straw together. And then have him have straw coming out where his hands are.
Yeah. That would be really cool.
And around his neck a little bit and around his ankles.
That'd be really cool. Do you feel like playing in clay? Do you feel like painting?
Well, it's a project that embodies all of that, but it's such a small scale, some of this shit might be hard. And look how tiny those teeth are. Now I'm gonna be mad because the damn thing's gonna be biting me.
No.
I know, right? No, little cactus pumpkin. Oh, and then for the top of the head, to seal it up, what I was gonna do was make, like, I have a cabochon mold that is, I believe, the perfect size to go over the top of that. And then I can indent it and put the stem in it so it looks like, and then you can just pick it up and drop the light thing in it and set it back down. Or it could be a weird stash container for creepy stuff.
Like weird stash container.
Well, you know you could hollow that whole body out, right?
Right.
But the neck is where it's going to be problematic.
Problematic, huh?
I'm not sure I like this clay. I'm used to a softer clay. But it does hold its form and take shape a lot easier than the softer clay. Did he get nicked on his cheek? Or is that like a leaf on his cheek?
Where?
Okay.
Just a leaf.
Okay, so we're in here.
Okay.
Fun. So anyhow,
I'm now sitting in a very bad spot. I see something really cool.
Nice. Waterfalls. Don't go to waterfalls.
So you have the big one. And the small one.
Oh, see that? I could make my dream world. Do they have marine iguanas?
I can sculpt them for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And seaweed. I need lots of seaweed. Ooh, and I need coconut crabs.
Coconut crabs?
Yes, coconut crabs.
I almost want to look them up.
You should. They're cool.
You know what?
Yeah.
We're taking a detour, everyone.
Segway.
Coconut crabs, right?
Yeah. Actually, look up. I think it's Easter Island. Is it Easter Island?
Does that look familiar?
You know why they call them coconut crabs?
Why?
Because they get so big that they use coconut crabs as their habitat. Pretty big fuckers, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, look at that one.
Yeah, that's some good eating right there. I know, I'm horrible. I like crustaceans.
I can't eat crustaceans.
I know, but you can eat yogurt, and I can't, so meh.
Actually, I still have a mild allergic reaction to the yogurt.
Yeah, you don't react like I do now. That's sad. It's one of my favorite foods. I'm so depressed.
So yeah, I can do your dream world.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like you have those, you have...
Rowan did this cool thing in Minecraft today that I want to replicate for her in a different way.
Small shore.
You know what she did?
What'd you do?
She built this big glass building in the middle of nowhere and filled it full of water and axolotls. And then she busted it open and they started just like pouring out everywhere. It was fucking great. And then they were trying to get back in and they couldn't get back in.
That's funny.
But it looked really cool. It looked like this like freestanding sea world. And if you go in creative mode, you could fill it with fish and coral and all sorts of crazy shit for her. She'd love it.
So, okay, we can... I'm messing around to get a feel.
No, you're good. I'm just telling you I'm going to build Rowan a giant aquarium in Minecraft. I kind of miss playing with Lonnie. She's like my little shadow in Minecraft.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, she helps me. That one game, she helped me build the house.
She's a good little kid.
She is. Rowan leaves me forest of doors. I fucking love that. I so love that. You're just walking in the forest and there's a door.
There's a door over here.
What the hell? I heard a staircase is in the woods, but never doors.
Hey, Mom. You were always saying how you wanted a maple tree.
Do you know how creepy that would be to walk into the forest and find a bunch of doors?
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm getting the f*** out of here.
I'd be like, that's a big no.
Let me open this door for you.
Well, I came across on a hike once a completely fucked up cabin. And there was like a chair and a table under a tree. And it looked like there was a cellar to it. But it was like all covered with this decaying wood. And I got this weird ass feeling. I snapped a few pictures and I'm like, nah, I'm out of here. I don't fucking like this. That's just some creepy shit to come across in the middle of the woods.
And another thing that'd be creepy to come across in the middle of the woods.
What you think is a bear that's not really a bear, it's just a jerk playing games with you? Yeah.
You got your food pack.
Huh?
Hey, look. I found your coconut.
Nice. So I quit with the clay. So talk. I'm here. You have my undivided attention.
Well, now I feel bad.
Why? I'm thinking. And I'm plotting out how I'm gonna do this.
Like what I'm doing?
No.
No, the whole plotting part.
Always plotting, honey. We're plotting world domination, don't you know?
Aren't we always?
No. And this world domination means filling the world full of sunflowers. I don't think that's the plan. Although I did learn how to make those little flower pods. And I was contemplating running around town and throwing them in all the fucking dead spots. Sunflowers.
Like you can also come across riches.
Although this wouldn't have been a good year to do it. Although I'm impressed they're still blooming.
Yeah?
Yeah, and that one did get pretty tall. It got almost as tall as me. And for this season, that was really good.
That's great.
I miss my reds.
Hey, look, Mom. You want to come across the treasure chest in the middle of the forest?
Sure, why not? What's in it? What's it used for? What do I get? As long as there's not a zombie in it, I think I'm cool.
You really hated Resident Evil 6 that much, huh?
Yeah.
Probably not one game we never go back to.
It just, yeah. Nah. It was too controlled for me. That's what it was. It was too controlled. I like some element of free will in my games. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I like what we were talking about earlier.
What? We were talking about a lot earlier.
What type of rabbit holes do you like going down, Mom?
I don't go down rabbit holes.
Yeah?
Yeah, because there's usually rabbits down there. And I'm too big. Well, hey, this time there's cats down there.
I still can't believe I got to pet one of the kittens.
I like historical rabbit holes. Where you learn it and something just doesn't sound right or it just doesn't mesh well. And you go back and you find out that that's not really how it happened. And science.
You like my mannequin, Mom?
Yeah. But yeah, you get me in some weird scientific fucking...
See where the arrow's pointing?
Yeah.
So that means...
I know, that was pretty interesting today on the other podcast, learning about their... talking about bringing the woolly mammoth back.
Yeah?
Yeah, I didn't research it, but I can pretty much tell you why they would do it. At least from that was lovely. Wow.
Excuse that kid.
But at least from a scientific standpoint, they survived another 500 years where other dinosaurs died off. Right?
Right.
So that alone would be worth studying how they did it. They pretty much hypothesized how they did it was because they dwarfed themselves. Because woolly mammoths used to be 20 feet tall, right?
Right.
And now they're, what, the size of a small elephant?
Yeah.
But also, it would change the terrain having those animals there, right?
Right.
And why would it change the terrain?
Didn't woolly mammoths stick around during the Ice Age?
Mm-hmm.
So it would have to be somewhat cold.
Well, weren't they saying that they were talking about doing it in Siberia?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. It's cold as hell in Siberia. But what would it do to the terrain? What do these animals... Okay, this is an elephant that can live in the cold. What effect would that animal have on the environment?
Well, you'd have to watch the vegetation and what they eat.
Really? Do you think that the plot isn't that the hypothesis is that they would use their tusks to dig through the snow to get to those greens? And that is how it would change the terrain, because it would move the snow to allow more growth because they need food?
Good point. I didn't think of it that way.
Well, a lot of people don't, but that's pretty much, you have to think about the effect that it has on its environment. You know, elephants can either help an environment or they can completely decimate it. Right?
Right.
So, if this is basically an elephant, what's it going to do? Think like an elephant, man. And there's no predators really out there, is there? There's tigers, but...
Tigers aren't really much of a threat.
Well, yeah, they are. They could take on a small woolly mammoth easy. But then you get into the question that's proposed in Jurassic Park. Just because you can doesn't necessarily mean you should. Because it could have an adverse effect on the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Okay, when you don't know exactly why an animal died out, you have to take everything into consideration. Maybe it is that they ate everything to the point where they died because they had no food, because they overpopulated, or because their species was just that way. So we honestly don't have a record other than that the cavemen used to hunt them and eat them. If nothing else, it'd be some damn good eating in Siberia, right?
Right.
Now, you want to know the funny thing? There's something that lives in Siberia that they're pretty sure still exists.
Yeah, it is.
Although nobody's seen one, they say that it is possible that they're still there. It's the woolly rhino. But then again, you have all this uncharted land. God knows what lives out there, right?
Right. Yeah, you're right.
So, and you know how they're going to do it? There was a really cool discovery quite a few years ago. And what happened was they found an intact woolly mammoth frozen in the ice. Yes, it's a little decayed, but it's a woolly mammoth, and you can see the hair, you can see the color of the hair. It was like the craziest thing to look at. But they have woolly mammoth DNA because it was perfectly preserved.
Yeah.
That's part of why that's what they chose to do first, because, well, hey, it's the only one that we absolutely have that we don't have to do a bunch of fucking shit to. We've got the actual DNA right here. Pretty cool, huh?
It is.
Y'all should check that out. It's quite interesting. I will warn you, though, that the pictures are kind of gross, because it is decaying.
It can be really complicated. It's a very tedious process.
It's a giant puzzle.
It is.
But I always find that stuff interesting. That's like, I like that stuff. That's fun stuff to learn about, I think. About dinosaurs, right?
Yes. Gotta love dinosaurs.
Well, see, I think it's funny because everybody's all like, oh, the dinosaurs went extinct. Actually, no, they didn't. There are several dinosaurs that still live today.
Dinosaurs, huh?
Dinosaurs? Yeah, dinosaurs. Carnivore.
You're funny.
Yeah, I start talking about dinosaurs and I instantly revert to talking to a 4-year-old. Why is it that little kids are the only ones that care about dinosaurs anymore?
I don't know. You ask me.
I always thought they were cool. And then we found out since you were a kid that a lot of what we thought about dinosaurs wasn't true, right?
Right.
Like the Velociraptor actually had feathers. So in that aspect, if you know that the Velociraptor wasn't as big as everybody thought it was. The one that you see in Jurassic Park, that's not how big they are.
No, it's not.
And they have feathers. So the thought that some of these dinosaurs evolved into birds is heavily supported by the fact that these dinosaurs had fucking feathers. What the fuck needs feathers?
Flying bird type.
What was the only fucking thing on this planet that has feathers?
Birds.
Okay, alright, there you go. It used to be lizards and birds. Could you imagine? Oh, I could see the marine iguanas like a peacock. Shooting water out their nostrils at people. Oh, dude, that's beautiful. What?
You're hilarious.
Yes, but look sort of everything God. You're so mean to me. So we're just gonna have a goofy night, huh?
Yep.
So should I make him evil or should I make him a happy pumpkin dude?
Make him evil.
Make him evil. Little evil fucker. That'll be his name. Little evil fucker. Yeah, so I'm gonna have a terrifying nightlight.
Terrifying.
Or he'll be a very interesting disco ball. We could get one that blinks different colors.
Blink, 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 blink.
That means the seal on the top is gonna have to be really good, or he's gonna have light coming out of his head, other than through his face. Now watch me fuck this thing all up and be like, fuck that thing. Now he's broken, Pumpkin Man. I was really worried the whole time I was gonna snap his head off, trying to hollow it out.
Oh, now I get to try hollowing mine out.
Well, have fun. It took me how long to do mine?
3 days.
Granted, I was only working on it at night, but yeah. It's easier to go through the plaster when it's wet. Once it gets hard, it's like chiseling through stone. I think I need to round this out a little bit more. So, I think I have a cabochon mold that would be small enough to actually put it inside the eyes. Should I do that, or should I make them puff out a little bit, since his mouth and everything's gonna puff out a little bit?
Make them puff out a little bit.
Okay.
It's getting hot in here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, you do know we're in the third ring of hell, right? Isn't it always hot in hell? Except for when it freezes over, which happens every year, ironically. There you go.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I'm just like, it's so hot in here. Why does it get so hot in here? You know, you could be sitting here waiting for your lighting to build.
Could be what?
Waiting for your lighting to build.
What? Okay, that was totally random and you lost me.
It said lighting to build.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. You want to know my strange terminology for it? If you don't build your light properly, the light goes bye-bye.
Yeah.
Then it goes peekaboo. You don't see me.
Well, I'll tell you what, in some things, light is everything, right?
Yeah, especially in video games.
Well, photography literally translates to light writing from Latin to English, so yeah, you kind of need that for photography too. Kinda.
Ooh, there should be some good trees in here.
Okay.
How's it coming along?
Well, I think that's as smooth as I'm gonna get the head. And it's real shiny. Maybe my hand is just bumpy, and that's the problem. Who knows? I wouldn't fault you when it comes time to the clay if you went with the Sculpey instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. This stuff is not the easiest to work with. It's a lot stiffer than you're used to. and it's kind of hard to even it out.
Okay.
Well, you know how the Sculpey like gets nice and workable just from the heat from your hands?
Mm-hmm.
This stuff doesn't.
So it doesn't, huh?
No. I mean, it will a little bit, and it becomes a bit workable, but it's not. And you're definitely going to want to use the Bacon Bond. So what are you doing with yours?
Building a cemetery.
Can I slap you yet?
Yes.
Hey, hop on that Segway and come back to my topic.
With my little dude,
Yes, with your little dude.
I'm hollowing out the, I'm
The head.
hollowing out the head so that way I can put a brain inside it. I'm gonna actually sculpt that out.
You know, I have a mold that's brain right.
Really?
That would probably be the perfect size to fit in there. Yeah. Although making them spun too, it's really easy. I can show you how you do it and make it actually really look like a brain.
Okay. That'd be really
You don't
cool.
have to sculpt it.
But I'm going to, make it look like a zombie.
Hey, I take that back. It is actually considered sculpting, but all you're doing is using like an egg and snakes. And if you really wanted to, we could use resin and put some of the red in it and make it look like it's swimming in a pool of blood and dripping out of his ear or something.
That'd be really cool. I really do think that'd be really cool. Let's see, what else was I thinking?
I don't know, I like working with resin.
Yeah.
Yeah. My hands hurt, so the clay is actually pretty hard right now to work with. Just from hollowing that out and that tool.
So do you plan on covering the whole thing in clay?
Well, I don't know exactly. Well, I'm gonna make shoes for him, and like I said, I wanted to make little lace-up shoes that were like boots.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been debating about the hands. And what I want to do with the hands, because they're so small, you're really not going to be able to,
You're not able to contact that.
properly coat them.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about leaving the hands by painting them. I mean, you could go in the way that they are right now and you could carve out the fingers so they actually look like hands.
You want to see it so far? It's a texture I used.
Once you get to the end of carving yours out, let me know, because we can actually carve the hands to look like hands pretty easily. You just have a very small margin for error doing the fingers. And you wouldn't want to go all the way through and completely separate them.
What do you think of my texture?
Interesting. Why do you have a big Coke bottle there?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a
Ooh.
lava.
Is that like a different version of the stones from Indiana Jones?
No, somebody got it.
What?
You got it. It was supposed to be lava, but I was like, no, it looks cooler, like, almost like Indiana Jones.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm building one big castle in here. Which is gonna be a lot of fun.
So, I finally watched Conjuring 3. And I think you should see it.
Is that when Annabelle goes home? Or?
No, that's actually another Conjuring movie, not an Annabelle movie. It's Ed and Lorraine. It's another one of their cases. And the funny thing is that I read about this case. And it is some crazy ass shit. It was a little slow and a little kind of confusing in some spots, but it was a pretty decent movie. And the story is one of the most fucked up stories I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I need to stretch out a little bit.
Well, I would share the story, but I don't want to give any spoilers to people that haven't seen it.
Oh, no, you're fine.
And I've personally been fascinated with Ed and Lorraine for a very long time, like since I was a kid and heard about them. I guess I was a little shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some things I was just like, I'm going to read this whether you like it or not, and I'd be under the blankets with my fucking flashlight reading. Shit, I'm not supposed to read it.
We're kind of boring tonight.
No, you're kind of boring tonight. I'm trying to have a conversation and you're saying, Rickwell. What was that? Talk to the horn. Talk to the horn.
Oh, you make me want to hollow out my little dude.
Well, then hollow out your little dude and talk.
I've been a little manic lately, I'm sorry.
It's okay. You say this makes you feel better, that's why we're here. So use it to your advantage. See, this is a form of therapy, is it not?
Yeah. But with my therapist saying what they said to me today, it helped me out a lot. And
Is it not exactly what I told you they were going to say? Yeah? And you just think I'm a cold-hearted bitch most of the time.
Yeah, it's true sometimes, but other times I know that you're actually...
Honey, it comes from a place of love, and it may seem like that in the moment, but later on you'll look back and be like, damn. You know, and that's the thing there. I mean, if it wasn't coming from a place of love, that's, yeah. And well, it wasn't mean at all. It was trying to help protect you from something that could send you into what you're going through right now. Right?
Right.
So, when does it stop being mean and start being a protective measure? That's what you need to figure out. Remember, the only thing you can control is your reaction to people, right?
Right. Hi, Tubbs. How you doing?
How's it saying?
Oh, he quoted a song and then said, when Tevin pulls out baseball bat, glove, and ball.
What song?
But I don't know, y'all wanted that 808. Can you feel that? BASS bass.
I'm sorry, I don't do club music.
can grab their own tool.
Yep, see how you are. Tell you what, worst date ever was being taken to a club.
Was it really?
That's not my scene.
I've never been, but I'd like to be at least once in my life.
Well, have fun. I won't be going with you. It is definitely a whole other world.
I've been in an outcast mood.
Okay, now technically, like, the one that I went to was actually really cool. And I guess technically you could consider the church a club. And I kind of enjoyed going down there, but that was because they had like 5 different rooms with music, and the people down there were actually pretty cool. It wasn't a fucking meat market. But most of them, it's just, dude, nah. I'm a let's go play pool and have a beer kind of girl.
I don't think I really am. All I know is that I like being home. Hole in the wall bars are the best.
They are. They absolutely are.
I would agree.
One of the best places in Denver for music is actually the Lions Lair. And it is the diviest dive bar you've ever been in, but it is so fucking awesome.
You want to go to an odd bar with me?
Dude, I'll take you down to the Lions Lair. Hell, I know a lot of the people that play there. Actually, I'm really happy that they're still going because they actually closed down during COVID and somehow pulled it together and opened it back up. Dude, I went to you remember Zach's dad's friend, Aaron?
Mm-hmm.
I was pregnant with your brother, and we went to go see his band play at the Lions Lair. That was like such a fun night, other than getting the shit kicked out of me from the inside. Sad thing is, you can't take pictures in there because the lights are just like non-existent. And if you set a flash off, it's gonna light up the whole fucking bar.
And all I see is bright light.
Oh, dude, we're all blind. What the fuck?
Who set that bright light up in this place? I'm okay, baby girl.
No, there's a couple of places I'd take you.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think if I hollow it out enough, I can make a nightlight out of mine too.
Most definitely. How are you gonna do the face? You gotta decide how you're gonna do the face, if you're gonna carve it out. And trust me, you gotta carve a lot out to get it to... I did find some other tools that might make it a little easier for you too. So... I'm not the one that's mad, dog. I love you. I love you, babies.
You know, all the animals have flocked to me today.
Yeah, they're being extra needy today. They're still confused because I was in a bad mood yesterday. What the fuck? She's scary when she's not happy.
And I'm a little bipolar.
It's okay. You know, that's the thing about life, is that it comes in waves. And sometimes you get caught up in a tidal wave like I just did.
Yeah.
And well, you gotta remember, and I'm gonna say it again, I've already said it tonight. The only thing that you can control in this world truly is your reaction to other people. And well, you know what? I'm tired of biting my tongue. And if people don't like it, oh fucking well at this point.
Is it from a long night, sir?
And that's part of the problem, is that you feel the need to not say anything about it. And I'm not saying talk about it right now, but I get it. That that's an unhealthy coping mechanism, to just act like it's not going on and then stew inside.
Let your inner thoughts come out, and they shall set you free.
Yeah, well...
I'm just so
There's a
confused.
certain point that people just don't want to talk to me because all the filters are off, and I'm like, this is how it really is, and this is how I feel, and I don't give a fuck if you like it or not.
And me, all I hear is, I'm just so confused now, feeling used and let down.
Yeah, that's what it is, honey. See, the thing is that if you're comfortable in your own skin, what other people say and do doesn't affect you. Not to the extent that it totally ruins everything. I mean, yeah, I was kind of pissy last night, but what did we do? I sat down and hollowed out my fucking head. And I wasn't pissy, and if I was pissy, I had something to take my aggression out on.
That's the best. I'm always that way. Fuck sugarcoating. I'll say what I gotta say, good, bad, or neutral.
And that's what I love about you. I don't, you know what? Sugar-coated bullshit is still bullshit. Right? And all that comes into my head is that South Park episode with Exxon. We're sorry.
We're sorry.
It won't happen again. Oh, we're sorry. Fuck you, cow! Fuck you, chicken!
Maybe that's what we need some in our life tonight.
Watch some South Park tonight. As long as we can watch my episode.
I gotta remember what season it is. Do you remember what season?
Well, okay, there's two different things we can try and find. We can either find the Cthulhu thing, which I absolutely fucking loved.
That's season 14.
Or the cow and chicken.
The Cthulhu one's easy to get to. It's season 14.
Okay. I just really like that one. I like that they did that with Kenny. I think it's great. And I told you it was fucking Kenny, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dude, that's gotta be Kenny.
Mm-hmm. I love South Park.
I do enjoy it since I learned to appreciate it. I just had to get out of my own way.
It reminds me of Aunt Jenny.
And it's funny because I kind of chuckled to myself because when I watch that or Nightmare on Elm Street, the first thing that comes into my head is all the arguments we had over that shit. Did we get downright vicious with each other over Jason and Freddy? I think we got into such a bad fight over Jason and Freddy once she didn't talk to me for a year.
It had to have been a pleasant year, right?
That was just me and my sister. We were very passionate about some things. Fuck. And there was more to it than that, but that's what it came out as. And you know, she basically made me sit down and watch South Park. She sat me down, she's like, no, you're going to sit down and watch this. So you understand it before you yell at me anymore for letting the kids watch it. And I watched it and I looked at her and I said, you really let my kids watch this shit?
It was just ruthless comedy, Mom. As a child who watched it, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, but I forget sometimes that a lot of it goes over your guys' heads, and that's why it's funny to adults too. Like with Disney Disney did that too. They put little slips in there for the adults that were like, huh, that's funny. And you don't realize it till you get older.
Yeah.
So, I learned to appreciate it. I'm still on the fence about Adult Swim.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
I don't like that one. What's the one with the goddamn meatball?
Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yeah, fuck that show.
Shake Zulu.
Robot Chicken. I like Robot Chicken. That's some bizarro shit I can get into.
Maybe we should hunt down Robot Chicken tonight.
I'm good. I'm actually good. I'm fine. I'm not really angry. I'm just... Your energy is like, I want to fucking say to get this girl to talk.
Hmm?
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
Well, the other thing too that I should also bring up is that I was told I should be a mental health advocate because I'm one of those rare cases that we caught it early enough that not only am I able to have my support group tell me when I'm having problems, but they point out what's going on and I'm starting to catch my own patterns myself.
And that's good. That's what you need to do. That's how you're going to survive this. Right?
Right.
And I know you've been pissed as shit at me for, hey, that's part of your pattern. And you talk to the horn, right?
No.
But you're starting to see the importance of knowing when it's getting to that point, right? Because if you know before you're over the edge, you can pull the reins back, right?
Right.
Or you can get the help you need to pull the reins back if need be.
Yeah. And that's just the thing, like, I was also advised that if it gets too bad and I can't control it, to go back to the crisis center.
Well, yeah. That's kind of a given. We don't need to have an episode of Snapped Up in this bitch.
I have to make...
Right?
I also have to make sure I take whatever medications I have with me.
I'm sorry, I'm making light of it, but you know what I mean.
You know. Snapped up in this bitch.
Yeah. We don't need an episode of Snapped Up in this bitch.
Yeah, it'd be daughter edition.
That'd be mother-daughter edition because we kill each other. Kidding, so kidding. Sometimes you have to mix
a little bit of humor in. Dark humor in.
Is there any other kind of humor?
Is there what?
Said, is there any other kind of humor?
No. Dark humor is the best.
So, what are you doing to get out of this funk?
Trying to stay preoccupied, keep my mind on doing menial tasks like hollowing out a head. Very therapeutic. I started working on a Raspberry Pi case recently too.
Yeah. Did the paper mold for that today, right?
Yes, I did.
Did it work?
It did.
Okay.
I just have to add in the bottom part to make it portable like I've been wanting to.
Okay, and when you do this out of another material, you're going to have to take into consideration how big that material is and adjust, or else you're going to be too small every time.
Understood. I will keep that in mind when I do it. Because I don't want it being too small.
Well, just remember you got to take into account how thick the material is. If you wanted to, we could carve something cute in it.
I'd love that. Or, oh wait, no, never mind. My wood burning tools are in storage.
Oh my god. Because that's so impossible to get to because it's like 4 blocks away.
I know.
My Dremel's in there too. That would have made hollowing that out a lot easier having my Dremel.
Yeah, but where's the fun in that?
Well, the other problem is it gets going so fast you could fuck it up real quick because that's plaster. And while it's a harder plaster than that other crap, it's still plaster and it breaks real easy. See, that's the quality of stuff that my gargoyle was made out of, the one that I painted.
Yeah.
And that's what my Daphne mask is made out of.
Good point.
But,
You said, I mean, humor and comedy come from dark places.
yeah. And sometimes you can only see the dark of the situation. But it's still good to be able to laugh about it as long as like, oh, I'm about to go kill somebody. Ha 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 ha. Right?
Well, yeah, as long as you're not about to go kill someone, you're good.
Yeah.
Yep. And you're right, I'm doing everything I can to keep myself preoccupied so I don't start feeling like my symptoms are coming back, or...
Have you figured out what it is that sends you into this yet?
Not
You haven't
yet.
figured it out yet?
Not yet.
If something happens, and usually it's something that triggers something and you obsess over it. And that's all you can think about, and that's all that's going on in your brain when you're doing stuff is what's going on with that. And you start completely obsessing over it. And that's when you start going downhill.
It's a bad trait of mine.
No. It's perfectly normal. In this society right now, that is perfectly normal. Okay? But there's a point where it becomes detrimental to you. Kate, you obsess over video games. Right? Some would say so much so to the point that you're about to let them take over your life. And others would say to the extent that you wanted to learn how to make them. So what sounds better? That they took over your life or that you want to make them?
That I want to make them.
Okay, so what are you going to listen to? Because, yeah, it is going to take over your life making them, but it's not a bad thing, is it?
Mm-mm.
And you see how just a sentence can put a totally different spin on shit?
Mm-hmm.
The way it's worded? And one of the biggest disservices that we do to ourselves is we mentally abuse ourselves. I'm not good enough. I'll never make it. Why does anybody care? Why does anybody like me? I wouldn't like me.
Well,
and when you stop doing that to yourself, you're naturally a lot happier, because if you can't like yourself, how's anybody else supposed to?
And that is something I do struggle with on a daily.
Well, if you don't like yourself, you're lying to yourself, and nobody really knows who you are. Because you don't even know who you are.
Well, okay, let's take my diagnosis, for example.
Mm-hmm.
That threw a curve completely in who I am and made me realize that that is like one of my imperfections.
Okay.
But through that imperfection, I'm learning that it's a major part of who I am.
Okay, is this imperfection going to help you along the way?
Yes.
So how is it an imperfection? And who's perfect? What's perfect?
Well, exactly. It's like not the perfect version of me in my eyes.
You know, your eyes are a mutation. Does that make you feel less human? Your hair is a rare recessive gene. Does that make you feel less human? So, why should the fact that your brain works differently make you feel any less human?
I guess it's something I've been scared of lately.
Who determines what makes you human? Guess what? We are all Homo sapien sapien. Whoops, I guess we're all fucking human. Oh my fucking God. And honey, how many different kinds of fucking people are there in this world?
A lot.
And when it comes all down to it, we're all human. So because of that, what makes you less deserving of anything in this life?
Nothing.
Then why do you let people tell you that you are less deserving because there's something wrong with you? Maybe there's something wrong with them that they can't fucking get behind the fact that people are different. And that not everybody's gonna fit into your perfect little fucking box. And that you shouldn't. Are we the fucking Borg here?
No, we aren't.
Diversity is what makes humans so amazing, Ray. And the technical term in what I know would be neurodiverse, right?
Right.
And doesn't that sound a lot better?
Mm-hmm.
And what exactly does that mean?
I don't know.
Your brain's different. Okay? Geniuses' brains are different. Everybody's brain's different. Same basic structure, but we don't all have the same shit going on. I mean, even our brain waves are different when they do the MRI scans. So how can anybody say what's normal?
True.
Because this, my dear, is normal for you.
It is, isn't it?
Yes. You know, everybody is so worried about being so different and standing out that they forget that we all are human and have the same basic needs. Right?
Right. Right. I guess it's something I've been scared of lately.
Honey, you are a very deep person trying to live in a very shallow world. And that is fucking painful.
Of course, when I settle for normal, and you can be a fabulous fucking unicorn.
Exactly. Exactly. Should I do the squirt since she's been doing that to me all day?
Yes, you should. We can do the squirt now.
You know, I learned a long time ago in life I don't think like other people, right? And, well, you know, I've always been pretty good about using it to my advantage. I mean, not like malicious to my advantage, but
To your advantage.
to my advantage. My natural curiosity put me in the position where I ran almost every company I ever worked for. That's because I'm like, what you do there? What you doing? How do you do that? You know?
Yeah.
Why do you do that? What's that do?
We
What's that?
said, yep, get the squirt bottle.
What's that doohickey over there?
Squirt.
Yeah.
I consider myself squirted.
And ultimately, Ray, the only person you have to worry about how they feel about you is you. Because if you feel good about yourself, it doesn't matter how others feel. Okay, I'm not saying be an arrogant son of a bitch, okay? And totally narcissistic. I'm just, if you know that you're a good person and that you are your normal, that's all that should matter. It shouldn't matter what anybody else thinks about that. And it's when you get caught up in that stupid shit starts happening, right?
Right.
But it's also a double-edged sword with that. Because when you're trying to be so different than everybody, don't you end up doing the exact same thing?
Mm-hmm.
You alienate the people that really might actually like you. Which is ultimately what you're searching for, but you're pushing it away.
Yeah. It is.
I'm always saying it. It's funny how the mind works, honey. It really is.
I think it's interesting how well you know your psychology.
I've had a lot of practice. I've studied people for a very long time. And I watch a lot of true crime.
Mm-hmm.
No, I enjoy studying psychology. People are fascinating. And I love listening to people's stories.
think that I should be an advocate.
Well, isn't that what you're already doing?
Yeah, it is. Getting my message across through multiple platforms, telling people, hey, you know what, this is the daily struggle I deal with.
Okay, the easiest way to educate is to entertain. Right?
Right.
So what are you doing?
I'm educating through entertainment.
Quit second guessing yourself. You know what your goal is, you know what you're doing. Quit second guessing yourself. If it doesn't work the way you see it, you will find a way.
You're right. I'm sorry, that's just out of habit.
I know, but habits are meant to be broken, right?
Right.
At least some of them.
Okay, let's actually talk about what made me manic. It's the conflict between emotions that have gone from.
Okay, you know what? You know, why don't you just say it? You know you want to, and you skating around it is getting you even more frustrated. I can feel it.
Okay. Well, my father popping back up in my life.
And he's one of your triggers.
He is. And it's quite sad that that's how it is, but that's how it has to be, because where has he been the whole time I've needed him?
Living his life, and that's where you put that. And like I've said repeatedly, that is a hard subject for me. And I feel that I can't really help you there because I'm biased, because I have my own feelings about that situation. And well, you know, I seriously just want to go with Mama Bear, but it's not going to help anything. And you're a grown woman and you have to deal with this at some point in your life.
Yeah. And that was something else, like, I feel I'll become a dwarf and start digging a hole.
No holes. Just healing.
There are many ways to skin a cat. You will figure out how to help.
And she's working on healing.
I am.
And the emotions are all part of that, and going through the emotions and figuring out why you feel the way that you do, and understanding that your feelings are justified. But you also have to remember that you're a grown woman and you can make your own decisions at this point in your life. Right?
Right.
And I think that the biggest problem here is that the second that happens, you revert back to 5-year-old you who still idolized this person. And that's where the conflict comes in, because you want to believe that version more than reality.
Sometimes. Other times
And I've told you the truth behind that version.
Other times I try to see it from a different perspective.
And you should. You definitely should. You should look at it from every angle. And that's what you've been doing. Through the people you've been talking to and figuring stuff out on your own. And this is what you need to do. This is a moment of self-discovery, right?
Well, that also leads to my boundaries.
Yes, but what you're in the process of doing is getting over a mountain. And mountains are hard to climb. But you know what happens when you get to the top of that mountain?
It's all worth it.
It's all downhill from there, honey. And I don't mean as in everything goes to shit. It's all downhill. It gets easier. I had to clarify that because a lot of people will be like, yeah, all right, it does go to shit. No. What you do when you go downhill is up to you. It can signify getting easier, or it can signify everything falling apart. And if it's falling apart, you didn't heal.
No, you didn't.
So it's back up to the summit and try again. And sometimes you just have to accept that there are no answers.
And that's the thing, like...
What can we control, Ray?
How we react to people.
So we can't control what other people say or do, right?
Right.
And that's a hard realization you have to come to as an adult. You may want answers, but that doesn't mean you're ever going to get them.
I don't think it's I want answers anymore. It's...
How do I stab her in the head with a fork? I manic, leave me alone. I could get away with it.
Yeah, it's funny because that's exactly what ran through my head.
Definitely my kid.
But that's also the thing with it being a trigger. It's been a really weird roller coaster. 'Cause I'm up, I'm down, I'm up, I'm down.
Well,
There's a couple loop-de-loos somewhere in there. I just don't know where I took the wrong turn.
you know, when you heal, it ceases to have power over you.
You're right.
Remember what I said? Liken it to Freddy Krueger. The more power you give it, the more power it has. And the power you give it is the power to hurt you. So quit giving the power to it.
Right. Well, on lighter subject, at least it's smooth.
You know, you're gonna get through this. I know it feels hard right now, but healing is always hard.
It is, but at the same time, I know it needs to happen. Because if I don't heal from this, what good does that make me, you know?
Well, it's not that. It has nothing to do with that, Ray, honestly. There are things in life that we never truly overcome, but you can take the power away from them to hurt you. I survived this. I will go on. I will do great things. It has no power over me. Not everybody has beautiful beginnings, right?
Right. But I can sure make sure I have a great time.
Well, it is true that the best revenge is a life well lived. And a life well lived is getting over your demons. Oh, let's not kid around. I've been carrying around a few big demons for a while. And in all honesty, I learned something very important through that whole experience, and that is that you have to be able to forgive yourself for the things that you couldn't change and the things that were out of your control. No matter how much it hurt and how much you feel you fucked up, you have to eventually forgive yourself.
That's easier said than done.
you know what? It's a process. And it's something that you have to work on every day of your life because it's easy to slip backwards with that, right?
It is. That it is.
You know, walking that path doesn't mean that you're happy all the time. Because that's just not natural. That's not the way that the world works. That's not the way life works. But you need to decide when far enough down is far enough down and pull yourself up. And you do that. You get a hold of who you need to and say, hey, I think we need to switch this up because I'm feeling this kind of way. And you're working with the people that are helping you. So you're putting the work in, Ray. Quit discounting yourself. Shit doesn't happen overnight, does it?
It's all one step at a time.
It is. And like with anything else, sometimes it's a cha-cha. 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
I hate doing the cha-cha.
Yes, but that's life, right? Because sometimes there's something back there that we miss that would be pertinent to what we need to face, right?
Right.
And sometimes we're just not ready to move past it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it's the emotion of, that's my father, but I know what it comes with, but that's my father, and I know what it comes with.
Then it becomes of what you're willing to tolerate in your life. And that's the part that's killing you.
It is. Because I know what I know. And I will not have that around my kids. Sorry, been there, done that.
Well, if you won't have your kids around it, why would you want to be around it?
That's a good question. I'm not even sure.
So how do you deal with the trigger? We already got the pens, and you backtracked from there.
I started working on activities that I enjoy.
Okay, but that's another sign of a trigger. Because your nose has been in a notebook for most of the past 2 days, right?
Right.
Which is another pattern, right?
I'm wanting to buy paper.
Yes. So you know the pattern and you know how heavily this has triggered you, and it's continuing to trigger you, and you're going further down. So what do you need to do for you to bring yourself back up? That's the real question here. What do you need to bring yourself back up?
I just want to be loved.
You are, dearly. So there's more to that thought. Because there is several people sitting right here, including in the computer, that care greatly about you and love you more than you could ever imagine. So there's more to that thought. And that's okay if you don't want to say it. But you yourself need to accept the rest of that thought.
I love you too. It's not necessarily that. It's
You know what? A lot of people probably don't realize this, but a lot of the reason why we do this is that this is one more way for you two to interact and for him to be here for you when you're having days like this. So, while also being productive and teaching people stuff, this is also very therapeutic because everybody that loves you is right here. I don't know if the other Tubbs Point 2 is there, but I'm sure he would be if he could be. So, we're all here. And the hardest part of the day for you is when?
nighttime.
So, this is another way that we can all be here for you and help you work through what's going on, right?
Right.
And I don't argue the nights I don't feel like live streaming and you're like, I need to. Like, what are we talking about tonight, honey? Right?
Right.
Because that's what you need at the time.
And you know what? I think the thing is that I just want this void that I've felt for so long to go away.
And what if it never does?
I have to do it on my own.
That's the only way you're ever going to do it. You do realize that, right?
Yes, I do.
You know what's funny? Is that when you let go of the bad stuff, it lets more of the good stuff in. Can you go back and change any of it?
No.
Going forward, is anything going to be different?
It can be. Without that.
Well, so it's a process, honey. I don't expect it to happen overnight, okay? And you shouldn't either. It's not you're going to wake up one day and be like, oh, I'm fine now. It doesn't really happen that way. It takes a lot of self-reflection and a lot of thought and sacrifice.
It's like with my pills. I have to remind myself constantly that I need them. Because as much as I want to say I'm fine, I'm better, I'm not.
Well, but you're fine, you're better because of your pills.
That's why I said I'm not. At the same time, I'm not, because without them, I'd have the same symptoms. We'd probably go through another Fouillado.
No.
And
I'm not in that bad of a place mentally right now. I don't think that I would fall into wanting to not be here again. But that's a good thing because I know the symptoms when you are.
yeah, you do. And if anyone can relate to what happened with what's been going on with me, it would be you. Because you shared in that madness with me, and you know how scary it can be.
I can also see how you wouldn't want to come back, but it was good.
Sometimes the only reason I don't want to come back is because things seem too hard.
Well, honey, that's part of life. Screw the flying monkeys. We're going to start throwing microphones at people. Sorry. Comedy break.
Comedy break, kids kicking microphone over.
But honey, you're putting in the work. You will get there. Just don't stop putting in the work. And what it really comes down to is, what are you willing to accept in your life? It's not about what you deserve. It's about what you're willing to accept. Because trust me, everybody deserves to be happy.
Everybody deserves love.
Yes, everybody deserves to be loved.
I feel like my little man right now. Just
Hey, there's a hole in my coat's head. What'd you do? Poke him with this sharp thing.
sharp, crunchy thing.
You know, a lot of times when I'm making stuff, Ray, I'm thinking. And I'm sorting through things, and when I do that, when I'm making something, I am like completely logical about it because my emotions are going into whatever my hands are doing. And some would call that meditating because that's basically, you know, I'm like kind of here, but fully in my head. And that's something that you do when you're in the notebook.
Yeah.
And I honestly think you should start writing your feelings down again instead of working on something else. Because that seemed to be helping you a lot to be able to get it out, because sometimes you can't quite articulate it to other people.
My therapist said it would be a good idea for me to type it out and send it to him.
And there you go. That way he can see what's really going on in your head. And that way he can better help you. And if you see it and you acknowledge it, that makes it more real, doesn't it? Instead of it just being in your head, because you can't trust what's in your head, can you?
No, I can't. Especially because, like I said, the daily struggle is real. Like, you have days where I do have some auditory hallucinations. I have some visual hallucinations. When I have the visual ones, I'm like, oh hell no. That's not real.
Well, okay, now the thing with seeing Coda is actually completely normal. You know that, right?
It's my way of processing grief.
Well, actually what's going on is that Coda's always been there, right?
Right.
I mean, for like 5 years, 6 years? Coda's been there. Right? So you see the spot he would be laying in that he's been laying in for 5 years, and your brain expects to see a dog there. And your brain doesn't quite register that the dog's not there until you realize that the dog isn't there. So you see the dog because that's what your brain is expecting. Because that is normal. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then when you finally process that he's completely gone, you quit expecting to see him there, so you quit seeing him there. I hear him bark every once in a while.
And that's how we process our grief.
I've seen him at my feet at least twice, and I know it was just my head saying, you're used to him being there.
And then you go and step on Hope.
Yeah, I was forever, don't step on the dog, and there's no dog there. It's like, fuck. Patterns, right?
Right.
He's always under my feet, so therefore the thought in my head for 5, 6 years has been, don't step on the dog. And then it weirded me out when Hope was always under my feet, and I had to relearn, don't step on the dog.
So it's just a matter of training my brain.
Yes, it is. And that's what it is. That's why we don't watch TV. Dude, could you imagine how bad it would be if you actually watched TV? The mentality that regular TV promotes.
Yeah, I'd be in the crisis center again.
Well, okay, like we've already discussed, watching the news is, by psychologists, been called mental abuse, and it is, because it's programming you to see everything negatively. The shows that they put out, 90% of them are dumbing you down.
Yeah. So if it's called mental abuse, then
Well, that's because how many good things do you ever hear on the news?
not very many.
Unless they're sports related, you hear like one good story, and basically what it's doing is calling somebody a superhero for doing something that's basic human kindness. Basic human decency is like a superpower now. But you see how it trains your mind to see things in a different way?
Yeah.
And if you cut that out, what happens? You're not being brainwashed to think like that.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I think half of the people in the world just watch the news to know who they should hate. Oh, speaking of politicians, you want to hear the best one I've ever heard? Best one I've ever heard out of a president's mouth. Biden's going to end rape.
What?
Yeah. He straight up said he's going to end rape. Alrighty then.
Good luck with that one.
I'm like, wow, that's... If you can do it, great. That would be fucking epic, but I don't see that happening.
I got pictures on my mind. I got pictures on my mind. I got pictures on my mind.
I'm like, dude, that's like some crazy action.
Isn't it? It really is.
I don't know what is going on these days. I am just like, whoa. We are like 3 steps from fucking Logan's Run here. Hey, on the upside, I'll be one of the first people they kill.
Hopefully not.
A good bit of spicy taco. I'm sorry. You have this glazed over look in your eye and you look like you're done talking about that. And I don't want to push you to say anything. I mean, it wasn't quite my intention to talk about this on stream, but...
I have all the people that matter.
You know, you wanted to tell the story, and that's part of the story.
It is. It's just a little bit more of a touchy subject because, like, people always tell me blood's thicker than water, and it's like, no, it's not.
Of course it is. There's iron in it. Fuck.
You're funny.
Sorry, I couldn't help that.
You're okay.
Okay, and what does that mean exactly?
Like, I don't know. To me, it has a different meaning.
They'll also both drown you.
Like, to me, it means that you take care of your own. But at the same time, you have toxic people.
Actually, you want to know the truth about that statement? That statement is a complete and total manipulation.
Yeah?
Yeah. When do people usually say that to you?
When they want something.
Yeah. So why would they bring up that blood's thicker than water when they're trying to get something from you? Is that not completely a manipulation tactic?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're like, yeah, I got my brother's back. You know, blood's thicker than water. That is the context that it was meant in, right?
Right.
Okay, but if you're using that sentence along with wanting something, it is a straight up manipulation tactic.
Now that reminds me of when my uncle tried to manipulate me into believing something and mimicking what I said, but then turning around in another sentence and saying something else.
And that happens. But you saw it, and you caught it, and that's what really matters, because guess what? Those people are going to continue to do that because that's the people that they are. There are a lot of people that rely on manipulating people. Okay, stop and think about it. Advertising is manipulation. You're manipulating somebody into buying a service or a product.
Yeah. The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb.
What was that?
The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb.
Damn, I like that.
I do too. Can we just make pina coladas?
The what?
Pina coladas.
Pina coladas? Only if you kill me 4,000 people so I can make a sword out of the blood of my enemies. Although I don't think I have 4,000 enemies. At least not that I know about. Fuck.
There's always the I Hate Heather fan club.
Yeah, but that's not very many people these days.
True. I guess you might wanted to turn him into a zombie.
Yes. Yeah, he chipped too on his foot, but you can redo that with clay if you wanted to. He fell over and it chipped his foot.
I might leave it.
Yeah, it would go with it. I saw one where they actually carved out the bones in the arm. There was like a little peek through, and you could see the bones in there, and it actually would be pretty easy to do. But I don't know if you'd feel comfortable enough carving something like that.
Not that intricate, not yet.
And I don't trust my hand at this point. The face was easy. That was like simple to do. Something more intricate than that might not be so easy.
Well, if I had the actual carving tools for it, yeah.
Well, you know what? If you got it thinner than mine, it would be easy to do. Well, if you want it to go, well, you're going to hollow the whole thing out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take that one tool and do what I showed you and wiggle it around, because that'll make you go deeper, which will make it so you're not just barely scratching the surface. And you might try some of the chisel tools.
Chisel?
Yes, chisel tools. The little weird looking U-shaped things with a knife on the end of it.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about using one of those.
Just be careful because chiseling is actually breaking pieces off instead of...
Yeah, I think I'm going to just stick to the long route.
I still have a bunch of teeth to make. So do you feel better since you have that out of your system?
Yeah.
Do you? Do you really? Are you just saying that? Fuck with me, Mom. I got sharp shit in my hand. I'm fine, damn it!
I'm fine. Yeah, I feel better.
Good. I'm glad.
I know there's a certain someone listening, but it's talking about tubs, but okay. I say that as a medical field that understands.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, I'm like
No, you're all good.
trying to think of what else to say.
So what kind of happy shit you want to talk about?
Well, we finally saw something that made you like, damn. Well, us both like, damn.
What?
Your photo.
Yes. That was amazing.
I'll even admit it. That was just, breathtaking. You know, your photography is a piece of art, Mom.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I try. I still have a lot to learn.
You know what? We're learning together, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's okay. That's one of those things I'll be learning for the rest of my life because it's ever evolving. I'm just waiting for the day that it's just a contact you put in and you can take pictures. Just press your fingers together and be like click, 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 click.
Oh, I bet they'll do something like that.
Yeah, I'll probably be blind by then. I wonder if it would still work.
Mm-hmm.
That would be creepy though, because would it have to talk to you? Would it be like an implant in your brain or in your eye? And then in your fingers? And what happened if you didn't want to take a picture and you accidentally tap your fingers together? I mean, like, this is what I want to know. What the fuck? Like, am I going to be sitting on the toilet and all of a sudden taking pictures of my surroundings and shit? Am I going to be tapping my phone and all of a sudden it's going to go click, 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 click? And where do the pictures go? Do I have to have Wi-Fi? I mean, come on. I'm curious.
You're funny.
No, see, I thought it was cool. My new camera has Wi-Fi on it. So if I have a Wi-Fi password for where I'm at, I can have it automatically upload the pictures as I'm taking them. I don't know where they go, but I can upload them as I'm taking them.
That's pretty funny.
Dude,
Am I
that server
doing
would
this
probably
right?
be like, fuck you!
Hey, am I doing this right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sorry, it's starting to kill my hand. I'm like, ah.
Yeah, I know. It's not an easy task. But it looks really cool, doesn't it?
Oh, it's so worth it.
Yeah, I would totally blow that thing up and be like, what's going on here? See, I'd be worried that it would corrupt a bunch of stuff because it couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah, we'll have to try it sometime.
I don't know. At least figure out where it sends the pictures in case I accidentally do it sometime and I don't know where they all went.
Mm-hmm.
They were in the camera, I swear. They're playing Tron in the interwebs.
You're hilarious.
Oh, I think we need a laugh.
We do need a laugh.
Could you just imagine it though? Do you think they'd have the heads of the people in the pictures?
Mm-hmm.
For the little dude on the bike?
Yeah.
And with the guys with guitars be riding guitars instead of bikes?
Yes. And it has to be like Hogwarts.
No, it's Tron. Oh god, they better not crash into each other. What the fuck? I'd lose it all. They went everywhere but where they were supposed to go. Now you gotta go on a treasure hunt and find it all.
That sounds like fun.
Oh god, no. I had a computer crash with, before I got the slave drive and realized why they were so damn important, I almost lost 10 years worth of work because my computer crashed. Black screen of death. And I was like, oh, fuck. We found the pictures, got them back and all. I got them off the drive, and then the drive completely shit out.
No way.
Yeah, I was lucky as fuck. I got them back. I was like, okay, I get it. Thank you, camera gods, for this reprise, right?
Right.
Oh my goodness. Well, I am such a dork sometimes. I have a bunch of shoots that I lost. I don't know, I thought that I lost them with one of my computers. And I forgot that I had a slave drive in the computer. And when I went to go take the RAM cards out of it, the drive was in there. I'm like, oh shit, I bet that's where all those pictures are.
Yeah.
And we're talking like the 420 rally one year and a couple of shows. And I'm like, oh, well, they're gone. Not much I can do about it now. But I'm pretty sure they're on that drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even get mad about it anymore. It's like, oh, well, they weren't supposed to be. It's not like them losing your film where you climbed up on the top of your fucking balcony shit in your backyard to take pictures of 4 tornadoes tearing your neighborhood apart. That one pissed me off.
I could just imagine.
Oh, dude, it was back in the 80s when I climbed up to the top. We had this, like, skeleton thing going on in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Around the porch. It wasn't quite a balcony, but you could hang blinds on it so that it was shaded. And I climbed to the top of that thing, and I sat up there for like an hour watching these tornadoes fuck up down on Monaco. And we were over by Cheeseman Park, and you could see them clear as day. That's how big they were.
Damn.
But they lost my film. So no tornadoes for me.
Yeah, no tornadoes for you.
Yeah, every time there's one out here that touches down around the house, everybody's like, you have to stay inside. I'm like, come on! It's just a tornado. I just want to hug it.
Is that really what you think, too?
No! I just want to take a fucking picture of it.
Well, just don't get sucked into it, you know?
Well, I wouldn't plan on it, but they're kind of unpredictable.
Yeah, I can see it now. Oh, shit.
Hey, dude, there was one that touched down at the end of the street quite a few years ago. And I was all hype. I had the camera ready to go. I was like, there's a tornado, there's a tornado. I'm going to get a picture of the tornado. I was like, okay. They wouldn't let me leave the house. They saw the tornado and they never told me about it. I was like, why didn't anything go off if it touched down at the end of the street? I just wanted to take a picture of it, goddammit.
And I let you sleep through another one.
But then again, I'm the dumbass out there with my metal camera taking pictures of lightning, so... They're actually amazing to see. That is just like nature pissed the fuck off. I do have a picture of a funnel from a walk I took that didn't reach the ground. That you can see two of the funnels off in the side of the picture.
Yeah. So, I think it's that time again.
Is it?
Is it?
When they start talking tornadoes and you just want to whip out of here?
Oh no, it's almost
I didn't think
1:30.
we're in Kansas anymore, Toto.
It's almost 1:30 in the morning.
And your bum will fuck out. Okay, so I'm not a very good comedian. And you're always telling me how funny I am.
I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you everybody for coming out to our streams. We really appreciate it.
Say it like you mean it. We